This is a very proud day to be a We Wai Kai member, let alone being the chief. I think this is something we haven't done in quite some time. You know, the first pole we've ever raised on the Quinsam lands, I think it's the first pole we've raised as We Wai Kai members since the 50s on lands we've had as well. But this is just a very proud moment, trying to, you know, show our culture, but also to make sure that we have these types of artwork throughout our territory.
Get the rhythm of your heart, and you just keep tapping as you keep see. Sounds like a heartbeat.
The way this sort of started out was sort of something that popped up with Chief Chickite wanting to sort of spur artwork throughout the development itself. The conversation that we had originally with Harold sort of spoke about, well, what kind of artwork could be in the interior, and maybe what might work on the outside as well, with something maybe affixed to the side of the building. And it wasn't until we sort of looped Chief Chickite into the conversation that he sort of suggested, well, maybe a totem pole.
I think it was really important to host the initial carving at the branch. One, because we got to see, you know, how the whole process worked. None of us has really been around to see a pole be carved start to finish. And, you know, it just fostered collaboration between Finning and the band to work on this great project together.
Carving I've been doing since I'd say 40 years, and I got poles all around Campbell River, Vancouver, Scottsdale, Arizona, Switzerland. I'm very honored for Finning to ask me to do for a pole for them, for our village. They gave me a little bit of time to think about what should be on the pole. To me, what represents our people is the bear is power of the land, killer whale is power of the ocean, eagle is power of the sky. And those symbols within our Lehane Nation are with us throughout our lifetime.
I'm not a carver, so I help by painting. I discovered I wanted to be an artist as a young kid. As my dad said, I used to watch him and paint with him and basically just wanted to be like him. Working with my dad on this pole is a huge honor. Anytime I get asked to help my dad paint is an honor. His projects are so significant. To be able to even just do one brush stroke on here is an honor. I feel for a pole, traditional colors is usually almost always the way to go, just because it is such a traditional piece of artwork. It usually represents your family's crest. It's very important to acknowledge where you come from. And so traditional colors are earth colors, and yeah, they're just super important to use, I think, in poles.
Yeah, I used to give my grandparents gifts of masks and tables or whatever carvings they did. They would take it, but go hide it. They wouldn't display it. For me, that was kind of hurtful, but I understood what they were going through. They weren't allowed to display that because they don't know who's coming through that door. That they can take them away for speaking their language or teaching their children how the Buckham way of carving and painting, that kind of work. Now I can do it openly and freely and share it with non-natives and myself. That makes it a bigger world out there, and make all walks of life understand our practices of our culture, that we respect those animals, the places, the land, the sky, the ocean. We respect that. We only take what we need. We don't take anymore because we need to eat the next day too, right? To work with my grandchildren, for him to start painting this and knowing that they can paint it. They don't have to hide no more. They don't have to be scared of people talking about what they're doing, you know?
We want to show our youth that, you know, there is opportunities out there, especially where companies are coming in and helping us fund to do a totem pole. We want to make sure our members know, future generations, that, you know, our ancestors carved a lot of stuff in the past, and how do we teach that? It's been lost for so long. We really don't have a whole lot of carvers in the We Wai Kai Nation, but we do have Max as one of the leaders who is into teaching, and we just want to be able to show everyone that if you want to come and learn, Max is available, and then it snowballs from there. I think I've seen quite a few youth of recent that are carving other things, paddles, masks, and I think, you know, just from vision, from seeing what Max has done and what he's taught some of the younger generation right now, and I think it's morphing into something what we hoped it would.
When my daughter and I first arrived at Max's studio, one of the first things that she noticed was the animals that were being shown in the totem pole. That was an aha moment for me, because it just shows that her at a very young age is already learning about Indigenous cultures that wasn't necessarily taught to myself when I went to high school or elementary school. And having her being able to work directly with Max and having him show her the traditional tools that he actually made when he was in high school is pretty neat. And I hope that when we get the pole up and it's in front of the branch, that she's able to see it and go, hey, you know, I was a part of that. I was a part of this historic moment, and even I got to do a little bit of carving on that. That's something that she remembers. And I think with this one, it's the first pole that's ever been erected at Finning Branch. So that makes me really proud to be working for a company that fosters collaboration and is partnering with the people whose land that we're on to make a better future for both parties involved.
I've been with Finning going on 14 years. There's been a lot of change in the 14 years since I've been here. We've built this internal team within Finning that I'm so excited and proud to be part of. You know, this is the other side of it, the cultural part of being partnered with these nations and understanding and learning from the people whose land we work on, you know, what's important to them, and that should be important to us as well.
This to us is a proud day to be a We Wai Kai member, but also to me it shows what Finning and what other businesses can do for reconciliation. You know, they really stepped up, and I think that goes a long ways and shows in today's age that companies do want to work with us. I think in times there's some struggles with people thinking First Nations want to just take, but these are the companies that are really stepping up and improving those relationships. And I think it's a learning curve for people, but this is a true example of what can happen when a company wants to show reconciliation with First Nations. Even in the conversation I've had with Finning, I think they're doing that around the country, but it's definitely, you know, it feels great to be a part of this project today.
What you see in front of you, that's what I want to pass on, is that lives on longer than I do or anybody else does. That let the world know who we are. We're not gone, we're still here.